Welcome, traders, and thanks for joining me. I am going to, sorry, my voice is still raspy. I am still recovering from a cold. So we are trading on Thursday, March 21st. We're just before market open. We're about 9 minutes out from the market open. And I'm primarily use Bookmap as my order flow platform. I don't trade on it yet. I don't do execute trades through Bookmap. I use Tradeovate for that. But I find that and I do use a little bit of Trading View to set my levels. So I look for certain levels, and then I usually mark them either on Orderflow, but a lot of times Orderflow is tough to record those levels over a period of past just one day. So I mark them on Trading View chart. That's how I will get basically on that. So what we'll do is, so I am going to go to the Trading View chart and look at news first before we start. And typically I'm going to clear the DOM before I start, just to have a fresh start when the market opens. All right, so we've had a lot of movement overnight. So here's Trading View. You can see the market took a major shoot up from the 42.34, almost a 80, 90 point move, broke the all-time high, which was formed maybe a week or so ago, and broke that back over here, 42, 52, 57, back on March 24th. So it broke through that all-time high, and we have another all-time high. So all-time highs, again, those are fun. We can look at the news of why, kind of what triggered some of that. So this was a supply zone. So usually I'm looking here when it gets to this zone sell. So it broke right through that supply zone. So that's invalidated. So I'm going to take that out. We actually have another supply zone formed that's right here. It's a 30-minute supply, 30-minute here, but then we also have a 30-minute here where you basically have a basing candle and then you have a sharp move up. So basically this supply zone is going to be right here. So we still have the supply zone here that was formed. And then we have another one, basically it's right here. So this whole thing now is basically a whole big supply zone from here, this candle on up. I would say the stronger supply zone is just going to be at the bottom of this zone here. That's going to be the stronger area, so I'm just going to keep it with one. So it's a 30-minute demand zone. So basically we're, again, for those that have never followed me before, I also use some of Carmine Rosado's philosophy on this of demand and buy zone. He has it in his course, Invest to Trade. I don't think it's open right now. He's revising it. So that he talks about supply and demand, not just support and resistance. It is different than support and resistance. So we're going to look for zones where the buyers are really just taking control and moving the market, where they break out, basically. And so we have this strong movement here at 52.42, and really don't have anything else. We have all-time high being hit here, and it's testing it again. The market is testing this all-time high. I usually don't want to call a top. I mean, a top was hit, formed back down, and now we're hitting that top again. Usually try not to try to call a top. Usually want to see it hit a couple times. So as you can see, looks like it's going to just test all-time highs again. The VIX is down, so that usually means the market seems to trend up when the VIX is below 1435 of late. 1485, I think, was the new number that was being called out. So let's go back to Bookmap here. So change my screen. Massive push through up here.
Sweep ESM for CME buyers at 5,317.5.
5314. 531350. You see the massive positive delta. Then you had a lot of negative delta here. So definitely have a push up here, but there's also means that there's some sellers with some low volume right now. It's kind of mediocre volume. So I really don't have any set levels right now. Your all-time highs, testing all-time highs again. It's like it hit it overnight. I can't even go back. I could pull up data. Bookmap does have a way to load historical data, but don't really need that right now. We just know based on TradingView that it was hit earlier overnight. So if I go back to I go back to TradingView, and sometimes it doesn't. I forget to change it on my end. So yeah, there's your all-time highs. Looks like it hit it back in right around midnight. So I'm going to switch it back to the live recording. Okay, here we go. Of Bookmap. All right. So as people come on and want to talk about
Sweep ESM for CME buyers at 5,316.5.
You can ask certain questions on my Bookmap. What indicators I'm using. I really like the DOM Pro a lot, which is this depth of market by time. So it's recording everything by the price. I'm sorry, not by time, but by price.
Sweep ESM for CME sellers at 5,314.5.
We're 1 minute away.
Sweep ESM for CME buyers at 5,315.5. Sweep ESM for CME sellers at 5313. Sweep ESM for CME sellers at 5,310.75. Sweep ESM for CME buyers at 53.12.
All right, let's take a quick look at gander at news. We can see unemployment was pretty much a wash. Manufacturing index was a positive number. We have flash manufacturing at 645 and flash services PMI and US existing sales at 7. These are all Pacific Standard Time. This flash manufacturing PMI and flash services PMI, that's going to be a big number. So that's kind of what we're waiting on with the market moving. So we have a few All right, so Bookmap, I cleared out the DOM right now. I want to start fresh. I should have done that right at the bell, but I didn't. But there wasn't a whole lot different, so I wanted to go ahead and get it clear, fresh start when the market opens on the DOM. I don't really have a set particular level yet. We still got to develop that. Some major buying taking place. The market pulse indicator is usually giving an audio alert when the market is imbalanced and skewed in one direction. It's based on a 5-minute time. It's gonna adjust depending on the flow of the current market. But I like it because I can usually hear it when I'm looking away, and I can hear that sound and know that I need to pay attention to the screen when that market pulse is coming in. So we got a lot of positive buying here, big buying coming in. Market's not moving up a ton with all this buying, so that means there are people on the other end of the book that are selling, that are absorbing that buying activity. Matter of fact, you can see here where Actually, selling is trying to take place.
Sweep ESM for CME buyers at 5,316.25.
Here we go, testing all-time highs again. I'm creating new highs by 53.19.
Sweep ESM for CME
I'm
buyers
starting
at
to get interested, wondering if buyers were going to lose interest
5,319.25.
here, since this is the second or third time testing, but now we're breaking through. So it validates any reversal option right now. A lot of strength. See the algos coming in, the sweeps, the book sweeps. So we're going to have to look for a level. We're waiting on the market to form some sort of level that we can even be interested in. But right now, with all the news, it's the PMI that's going to happen at 6:45. We're going to just need to sit on our hands.
Sweep ESM for CME buyers at 5,319.5.
A big gambler in that regard.
Sweep ESM for CME buyers at 53.20.
I'm going to zoom in a little bit more, try to get more information. I'm always zooming in and out. A certain particular time frame doesn't really matter in Bookmap. If I am
Sweep ESM for CME buyers at 5,319.25.
more. It's pretty much giving me the same information whether you zoom out or zoom in, unlike a candlestick chart, which tends to just get more granular, see where the market. This is really going to give you a visual of where the price is, what the volume is at that price. And I like using the depth of market on Bookmap. It's awesome. This volume profile delta column here, that's probably my most important column. I really want to see
ESM for CME sellers at
blue obviously means a
53.17.
positive delta, means there was more aggressive buyers. And what that means is that there was also more passive sellers on the other end of that book, taking on and accepting those offers. So, so on the flip side, that means there's people on the other side of the book buying that, willing to sell that. So it's another way to read that. There's people
Sweep ESM for CME sellers at 5,316.25.
That also means that there was actually a greater amount of passive sellers on the other end. because if there wasn't, the price would continue to go up. So we tested all-time highs, made new highs at 53.21, 25, and now sellers are stepping back in. Buyers have become a little disinterested. These are your classic fake outs. You hit an all-time high. You had a little all-time high earlier. If we go to trading view real quick, you see it broke out here, all-time high, hit it once earlier, and then hits it again. Looks like it's gonna like double top, and then it passes through. A lot of people, what are happening is a lot of traders are going to come in here and take long. Oh, it's still going to keep going, and it fakes out, and then it drops back down. So that's what we want to keep an eye on. So my goal is to set levels, find out where the market is.
Sweep ESM for CME sellers at 5,316.75
on the aggressive side. Big moves in the market, and I'm waiting for the market to hit those levels, and then I'm using Bookmap and taking, which gives me more of an immediate picture of what is happening, to determine what my if I'm going to if I'm going to put on an entry or not. A lot of times I'm putting on an entry really early, even before kind of buyers are stepping in. I'm timing it to where I'm seeing where a move is ending, because it's just hitting a wall. It's hitting a wall. Whenever I see a move hit a wall several times, and it's usually a signal that the market's going to reverse. But we don't have that yet. All-time highs, we have new levels, we have to be careful. And we have news. The PMI news is out. We had some sweeps to the sell side, but buyers are still overcoming them. All right, so let's take a look at what that news was. Yeah, so PMI, flash manufacturing PMI, positive number. Now we're looking for existing home sales, which is medium impact news. I'm using Forex Factory for my news. You can go to like Market Watch, whatever, but usually a positive news. I know it's like weird. We're getting positive news, and it's like has a negative effect on the market because they don't think rates are going to come down. If rates come down because the market's the economy is doing bad, the market wants that. They want more spending. So that's the liquidity. That's the philosophy there. So sellers are definitely pushing now. I recenter my DOM. So you can see the most recent contracts that are coming in on the aggressive side. And then on Bookmap, it'll show you the order book on the DOM here. I prefer to use
Sweep
the DOM
ESM for CME buyers at
really looking at what's
53.12
on the order book. The visual of Bookmap to see, orders on the book, sitting on the book, either on the buy or sell side. I pay attention to it if it gets filled. A lot of times you have some spoofs that are coming in and they'll put in what looks like to be an order, but then they just remove it before it even hits there. So we have no buyers really sitting on the other side of the book. Look how small the selling is, and it's just moving price. That means there's not too many buyers on the other side of the book that are interested right now. very, very few.
Sweep ESM for CME buyers at 5,310.75. Sweep ESM for CME buyers at 5,309.5.
It probably was a good time to short here up here at the 52, 17, 18 when it re-hit here and we lost interest, sellers, and that could have, I think Carmine actually, if I look in the thing, he actually did it. He did
Sweep
take that.
ESM
He took
for
that
CME
trade.
buyers
He
at
took,
5,310.25.
up here. And where buyers lost steam, and then you could see, you could take in this trade when you saw sellers pop in, or just taking a little riskier trade and lower, a bit greater risk to reward, and taking it right up here at the top here. That would have been a good set. And there's some confluence here with this area as well. I think I'm just not awake yet or something, because that's something I was kind of noticing but didn't really trigger with me that would have been a good entry. I'll wake up, more coffee, I guess. So here's that zone. So maybe what I'm looking for, wow.
Sweep ESM for CME sellers at 5,311.5.
Volume pulling in here. So all of a sudden buyers got interested again. So what I'd like to see is maybe the market pull back into zone, find sellers again sitting on the other side of the book, which means, you know, big green bulbs, but the price actually not going higher. That's what I'm looking for. Absorption. There's also an absorption indicator here with Bookmap, but I can see it visually. I don't really need the sound, so I don't utilize it because I just see it. I mean, this is absorption right here.
Sweep ESM for CME sellers at 5,310.75.
But ideally, I'd see the market come back up into here, and then I take a short. But it might be actually a good time to actually take a short here now because of the absorption. Yeah, buyer exhaustion is happening here. You see these small dots, they're just, buyers are starting to run out of steam. Or would I take profit if I got in here? Take profit. Usually I'm going to look at Bookmap. I'm going to look at Trading View for that real quick. That's where I usually look at where my take profit's going to be. So a good spot might be down here at this level where we found some resistance, 5302. So it'd be like a 7-point risk, 2 points to get 7. So that's like a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio right there. It's not a bad one. All right, so let me go back to Bookmap. Sorry. Again, we're finding resistance here, finding some absorption. If it rejects here, I'm just gonna take a short. Otherwise, I think if I don't take a short here, I feel like the market could come up in this zone over here. If I can extend this box, yeah, I'm in short. Now I'm gonna go in short, take a small risk, put my stop up here at like 53.1350 in this absorption. This order book over here. There's some liquidity sitting on the book. It may hit up here and then come back down. So I'm prepared for that. So I'm giving a little bit of room. But I am in shorts here. So I'm basically risking 2.5 points for 7. So 3-to-1. Almost 3-to-1. If you don't mind, I have some jazz in the background. I don't know how to keep that from going through the mic, but I need something to relax me, relax my nerves when I'm trading. So I don't know what you guys do to relax, but I need to relax.
Sweep ESM for CME buyers at 5,311.5.
So buyers are still really interested in this. A lot of positive delta you can see on the depth of market chart here. So right on the DOM, we have a lot of aggressive buying still trying to step in. Buyers are still pushing, but they're not getting rewarded strongly because you have all this, effort. They're climbing up the mountain here, but there's a lot of sellers sitting on the other side of the book here as well. See if I can extend this box over here. Sometimes Bookmap is a little weird. Okay. So this is the zone I want to get into. And it's coming back into that zone. I actually took a really small risk trade to the short here, but my stop loss is really wide because I actually really wanted it to come into this zone. So not the best entry. I should have just, I'm seeing absorption here, but it looks like buyers are still able to push through the book, but it's grabbing this liquidity here. See, that's what I was worried about. It seems like you're gonna know this as you watch Bookmap over time. I'm still new, but one of the things I'm noticing is that the markets tends to want to push into the liquidity to grab that liquidity, and then sometimes then it'll take the other direction once it hits that liquidity. And there's that liquidity grab and move to the downside.
Sweep ESM for CME sellers at 5,313.75.
Now you'll notice there's no book really sitting up here. It's really small book. You'll see it on the depth of market. Nothing major stepping in. Either way, really. I'm almost tempted to add to my position here. At this zone, I could get some really good prices. If it comes up in here and shows some resistance again, I'd like it to push up a little bit more, kind of in this 53.18, 53.17 area. Oh, look at that. There's some book pushing into it. Market coming in, step in. And then there's the struggle, right? If I follow my plan here, I need to be entering a trade to add to my position here. I really took a small risk down at the bottom there. My real trade is coming into this zone between 53.15 and basically 19. So yeah, I'm in short. I'm going to add to my position now. I'm seeing signs here that sellers are coming in, finding a lot of resistance here. My stop's going to be up here by 53.19. Targeting down the 53.04, 53.02 is my target. Now I need aggressive sellers step in.
Sweep ESM for CME sellers at
Finding some support at
5,313.5.
VWAP. Here comes some sweeps. Algo's stepping in. Kind of hasn't moved a lot since news. It's kind of been relatively quiet here. Good amount of volume, but it's kind of just tracked in a barcode fashion here, just sideways. All right, I'm going to turn on my mic for a minute.
Sweep ESM for CME buyers at 5,314.5. Sweep ESM for CME buyers at 53.17. Sweep ESM for CME buyers at
So now we have some
5,317.75.
buyers, major push up on the buyers here. Then we have absorption right here as well. All right, I'm seeing this absorption here, these sweeps. So I took a short again. I got stopped out here, but I'm going to get into market again because I'm seeing exactly where I want to be with absorbing up here. This is my original plan, was wait for it to come up into this zone and then take a short. I wasn't sure if it was ever going to come back there. I felt like the sellers were going to really pop in. So I'm taking a low risk short here. Uh, 2-point risk. My stop's going to be right above this zone here, 1925, right about there. But I like all this push. They're not getting rewarded. I feel like buyer exhaustion is coming out. It may test. I might be wrong. You know, I could be wrong. But my risk to reward is really good. I'm only risking 2 points to make. What am I looking to make? About 12. I mean, that's 1 to 6, 6 to 1 risk to reward ratio. One thing I'm still not super happy about is Bookmap's drawing tools are a little finicky. Like sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. So we have buyers again. This time there's not as many sellers on the other side. We have some liquidity up here, so not sure. I think maybe we test all-time highs again, and I'm wrong, which is quite possible. I just found all this absorption here that it was a good sign that buyers are finding their top, but it might try to find more liquidity back to the all-time highs before turning around. Sorry, this down chart gets overlapped. Maybe I should just move it to the side so it doesn't overlap when I hit this session volume range profile. I'm kind of seeing this over here at the volume sell profile and volume buy profile, so it's kind of redundant for me, so I kind of cover that over, but whenever I click around it kind of overlaps on top of the DOM, and that's volume delta profile is my most important profile that I'm going to be looking at. So now we got some aggressive selling coming back in, moving back down the VWAP. Now it just needs to push through it needs to push through this 53.13 into 53.12 for us to see a bigger move to the south. And it finds support and comes back up to this zone. So, I mean, the sellers are just not popping in like I would like to see. But one of the things I've got to work on is not removing my stop loss too early. I notice sometimes I would remove my stop loss, trying not to be wrong a second time
ESM
on
for
a trade,
CME buyers at
and I end up burning myself because
5,318.25.
yeah, it comes in, hits, and then eventually takes off. So follow your plan. That's probably the biggest thing. One of the reasons why I'm going live is to teach myself, hey, follow my plan, stick to it, be willing to take that risk. If you have a plan, take the risk, and if it's wrong, you go with another trade. I need really sellers to step in here. I mean, we have a lot of sellers on the book here because we have all this aggressive buying here that's not really getting rewarded. It's finding some resistance. It keeps hitting at this 53.18. Hit it over here as well. This was all-time highs. I don't know if we're going to test all-time highs again, but
Sweep ESM for CME buyers at 53.16.
the joys of watching the market go up and down can be nerve-wracking. Maybe if I, cheer on the market, it'll go in my direction, right? That always works. Come on, sellers. Come on, sellers. Our buyers go to sleep. Buyers get disinterested. Close out your buy position. And then turns into a seller. Yeah, it's always a challenge, right? The roller coaster of emotions that ensues when you're in a trade, but I probably should just walk away.
Sweep ESM for CME buyers at 5,316.5. Sweep ESM for CME sellers at 53.18. Sweep ESM for CME buyers at 5,318.75.
All right, I got stopped out for a loss there. Through my loss, it just is what it is. I might still be right, but I'm out. The structure got broken. It's going to test all-time highs again.
Sweep ESM for CME buyers at 53.20.
This is my all-time high box as well. I'll just keep an eye on that, but I'm not really interested right now. I have to really see buyers not rewarded, and they're just being persistent and pushing through the sell order book. I think in general this wasn't a bad trade.
Sweep ESM for CME buyers at 5,320.25.
It just sometimes doesn't work out. It's just low risk, high reward. So, the market's still going to push through. A lot of times I take that setup. It does work out more times than not. But there are times, it doesn't work out. So not necessarily bad analysis. I just, and I think I looked at Carmine Rosado. He actually took that trade too. So that's cool to know that he was in. I went and looked at the Discord channel on InvestiTrade, and the guy's been doing it for 7-8 years, really successful. This market's might move the other way now. So, it looks like market, the sell is going to come in back in. It's a double top now, but just not trusting it right now. But I like to see it come back up here
Sweep
and then show
ESM for
disinterest.
CME sellers at
And maybe I take another
53.19.
short.
Sweep ESM for CME buyers at 5320.5. Sweep ESM for CME sellers at 5319.5. Sweep ESM for CME buyers at 5320.75. Sweep ESM for CME buyers at 5319.25. Sweep ESM for CME sellers at 5315. Sweep ESM for CME buyers at 5,315.25. Sweep ESM for CME buyers at 53.15.
All right, so I take a stab at this up there at the 53.19s and finally moving down, but it's finding support VWAP again. I have my target down at 53.0204. So the question is, can we keep pushing down? So I'm risking 3 points. For how many? About 17 points. It's a little over 5-1. So it needs to break this 53.13 zone. This is some resistance here. Buyers are still
Sweep ESM
still
for
strong.
CME buyers at 5,316.5.
So it needs to break this 53.13. I think it's the only time I'll adjust the trade is if I mean, I could bring stop loss down while I'm at 53.32 up to 53.17 area. Now that it's finding some resistance, so to speak, right here. But I'm not going to do it yet.
Sweep ESM for CME buyers at 5,316.5.
My main goal here is to continue to make sure that I'm following my plan. I'll consider to win, even if I take a loss, is just to follow your plan. And a lot of times my plan will work out if I just would have followed it. So I don't want to stop it just because the other two plans, the other times I entered in a trade didn't work out. Small risk both times, but this time it could work out great. So stick with it. You know, past results do not predict future performance. You know, so you've got to stick with your plan and have confidence in it. I feel like buyers are reaching the top here, losing steam. Sellers just need to step in, and the rest is noise. So if anybody ever has a question on any of the features of Bookmap, just let me know. We can always discuss some of those. I'm still learning.
Sweep ESM for CME sellers at 5,314.5.
feel like it keeps rejecting this VWAP, and then buyers keep stepping in, so we're I'm adjusting to cut this early. I know that I want to kind of follow my plan, but at the same time I'm reading the market here. If it keeps going up, pushing up here, I'm probably take a small win because I think it's just gonna push back up to the market just wants to continue going higher. A lot of volume at the top, which means the prices could get lifted higher. If it doesn't turn around here. There's such a strong push down, and now it's getting wiped out. Unless sellers can somehow step in here. There's a lot of buy volume up in this zone, and you can see this on the DOM. All this Carmine was pointing this out. 1,000 positive buy lots up here, positive aggressive buyers. You know, so you got aggressive buyers that are trying to push this thing higher, really stepping in, and you know who's going to win now. So if I feel like if it tests again, it's going to push through. It's not going to come up here and just stay there and hover and come back down. I think it's going to push through. Let me readjust my
Sweep ESM for CME buyers at 5,316.75.
So still in this short. Got in at 53.19. But I am moving my stop loss to right above here. So I'm going to take a small win if we lose. I'm just not liking the trend. Yeah, 53.19, that's where I took it. So I got in long here. My stop loss is slightly above break even. I don't like that it's not pushing. Usually I like this push down. A lot of times there might be a little correction, VWAP, a little consolidation, a little battle between the buyers and sellers, and then it'll continue to push down. Right now that battle is looking like the buyers are really pushing hard. Even when we sell, you know, it's not just a drop down. Okay, that was the best drop down here. That was some run on the book here. That was some good movement. Now we need to break VWAP. We need to break this. Come on, sellers. Come on, sellers. You can do it. You can do it. I mean, this is what's crazy with the market. You know, it may not work out this trade, but I feel like it's a low risk. I'm not putting on 3-point risk for what, 17 point reward here. You know, I can be wrong 3 times, and I just need one trade to go my way, and it's gonna be a green day for me. So that's what's great about risk management, you know, and sticking with your plan. I need it push through here. Let's go. Let's go. I need sellers to overcome the buyers right here in this 53.13s. Pop it down to 53.12. Let's see some movement here. Moment of truth. Let's go. Come on. and of course some resistance. Yeah,
Sweep
buyers are
ESM
really
for
trying to push this
CME
thing
buyers
higher.
at
It's down there and then
5,315.75.
buyer step right back in.
Sweep ESM for CME buyers at 5,316.75.
Yeah, I'm
Sweep ESM for CME buyers at
look at that. Look at all the buyers just pull right
5,317.5.
back up and in. All right, I'm out. That's hilarious. Oh, look at all the sweeps. It just like liquidity grab. They just want to go higher. Go higher, they say. So what's gonna happen? We're gonna break the high day, come up to like 53.25, and then we're gonna have a sell-off, right? You know, it just wants to keep going higher and higher, and then until the last buyer buys, and then we're gonna have a turnaround, and the sellers are grabbing liquidity. But look at all this strong buying. It's a lot of volume. All right, let me get out of the way. I took a
ESM for
short, small
CME
win.
buyers at 53.19. Sweep ESM for CME
Yeah,
buyers
see,
at
look at all this
53.18.
movement. Look at all that volume. All right, so 53.2150 is the high of day. It looks like it's going to try to break that. Look at all this volume up here. So it's stalling at the high of day, but then it's just so much volume here that I think we're going to see a push through. And what we're going to see is a push through, come up to 53.25, and then turn around, grab that liquidity. I don't know. It looks like buyers are losing interest here.
Sweep ESM for CME sellers at 53.19.
about this high here. We got a lot on the order book coming up here on the top here that are a lot of liquidity. So I thought it would eventually just push through and grab this liquidity up to the 53.25s, 53.26. Oh, here's the new high of day. It's going to touch it again. 53.21.50 is the high of day. Just touching it, but we got a lot of volume up here. Yeah, it's really battling here. We got some volume, but then I feel like buyers are not strong enough. So I'm taking took a small stab here at 53.20.25. Putting on small risk here to see if sellers push through this. It's 1.5 point risk for, again, let's see, 17 point plus reward. All right, it looks like my buddy Carmine is also in short on this, so it feels more congruent when I got somebody else in here with me on this. It just stuck up here. Normally we'd have a move through up top. That's why I'm going short, because we didn't push through as I was expecting, so we're stuck around there. But we're not even pushing lower either. It really is a battle here between buyers and sellers. I know that, you know, we're going to get rewarded hugely if this moves in our direction. So you got this positive delta right at the time, but then it drops off. We got some volume here. It's like seemed like both sellers and buyers exhaust themselves at the same time here in the same zone. So you see how small those volume bubbles are? It's like they both are exhausted. So my first inclination here is if it pushed up in here and battled, and then eventually it's just going to pull up and grab all this liquidity up here. And then we have a fake out and come back down. That's something that could easily happen here. That sellers are trying to grab this liquidity up here before they come in. I mean, there's a lot of liquidity on the books if it's truly intentional. I'll be right back. One of the things noticing here on the DOM is that Carmine pointed out is that the order book is becoming really thin. And there's a lot of people aggressively hitting the bids either way. So it's just really interesting, but it's also a prerequisite for a big move one way or the other. Just hope we're on the right side of that move. I feel like we're more 50-50 right now. 50-50, but the risk reward is really high in our favor. Just think if the big move happens, even if it goes up to the top, I think it could turn around after it hits these 25s. Usually don't like seeing this much sideways movement after taking an entry in a trade. Usually like to see it move either against me or in my direction really quickly. But sometimes this is what has been odd about the market lately, is we're seeing some abnormalities. And, you know, it just goes sideways up and down where the market just a lot of noise before it makes a move again. I mean, if we look at the beginning of the day here, I mean, we just have, like, basically since the morning have gone not even 20 points, right? We haven't even moved 20 points outside this, like, massive structure craziness, right? So it went up to 21, down to 08, right? So it's not even 13 points we've moved, even with all the news. And it's messy. It's messy. There's no like real clear movements up and down, big strong buys that get resistance. One of the clear things right now is just seems to be VWAP and high of day. That seems to be the biggest thing that people are supporting. Like look how many times it hits the high here. You got 1, 2, 3 tests, 4, 5, 6. It's like it's going to test it again. Yeah. Man, if it tests this time and doesn't go, I think I'm gonna move up my stop loss. I shouldn't, you know, it's really small. It's crazy. I thought if the move was gonna happen, it was gonna happen here. Like it started taking off, but now we find buyers again. I think sometimes on some of these sideways markets, it's just better to shut down your screen, go do something else, set your stop loss and your take profit, and walk away. If you can't, you know, it's a little bit of an emotional. I don't care how long you've been trading. I mean, I'm even looking at Carmine. He's going through the same emotions right now. Do I enter? Do I leave? You know, do I move up my stop loss? Because it's not your traditional what you're hoping for in your plan. Let's see a big move and strong move, and then a little bit of consolidation and then continuation. It's just a lot of strong consolidation. Now we're gonna test VWAP again, but VWAP is moved up. Let's see if it can break VWAP clearly and break through the
Sweep ESM
5313s.
for CME sellers at
Got some good movement here.
5,315.25.
But again, is it going to keep going, or is it just buyers are just going to buy it right back up? That's the question. If it breaks through 5312, I'll probably move up my stop loss, at least break even at that point. That's like a 7-point positive. I guess I'll put my camera on, but the wild west of futures trading is taking your odds, you know, risk. That's one thing I'm teaching myself is a lot of times that I would have taken a trade, that I would have just stuck with it, it would have been to my benefit. So this is part of that discipline, is just sticking with it. I believe our analysis is correct. Again, we're looking at, look at that. We're right at 53.15, right at VWAP. You have some sweeps on the algos of a book going down, but again, your buyers stepping in, trying to step in, take it and push higher. Okay. Now we have some movement going down. Now the thing is, can it break? A lot of negative delta here. Can it break through the 5313s? I mean, that's just like the real test. It came down to the 5313 before and then just popped right back up. I mean, it's almost like it's a little range. You could take profit here and then wait, comes back up and sell again. And I mean, I could do that, but tend to miss out on a bigger move. All right, we're back out here watching it hit the 5313s where it just couldn't seem to push through. I'm up a good 6-7 points right now, touching base at the where we keep finding buyers at the 5313s. Momentum is finally pushing to the sell side. Okay, here we go, we're breaking it. 5312, 5313. You might see the bottom drop out of it now. 11s. Let's go. Let's go. Question is if this dip is going to get pulled up here or not. Let's go. Let's go. Push through. back up again.
Sweep
here.
ESM for CME
Gonna go
buyers
back
at
up to VWAP.
53.14.
Again, it's not going to be clear right now because it's just the way the market is. It's not going to be clear, but I like this buy here.
Sweep ESM for CME buyers at 5,313.5. Sweep ESM for CME buyers at 5,314.75.
Some sweeps on the buy side coming in. Yeah, VWAP is holding here. The question is, VWAP becomes resistance instead of support. And we have a strong push down here. That would be ideal. Now we have the move that we're really looking for. But I'm not sure if we're ever going to get like that full move.
Sweep ESM for CME sellers at 53.15.
So it breaks the 52.13s, but then it finds more support. So not like a normal move by any means. I mean, we're really still ranging. I'll probably just take a small win here.
Sweep ESM for CME buyers at 53.16.
I moved up my stop loss to right around the 53.1650. So it might just go back up to test the market at top, and then I'll just re-enter if it hits the top. I'll take a small point, small win, take a small win, and you know, it is what it is. Then get back in, enter the market if it finds resistance back at the high of day again. All right, I'm gonna step away for now, but I'll leave this here.